Hi and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be turning this piece of old artwork that came out of someone's trash into a beautiful black and white backsplash to go behind my stove. First, what I'm going to be doing is painting the entire thing in 2 coats of a black satin finish paint. Here you see me removing blue painter's tape from my roller, and I do that because it helps to pull all the extra fuzz off so it doesn't get into my paint and onto my project. So once I have this entire thing painted with 2 coats and it's completely dry, I'm going to be laying out a package of stencils that I had. And I am doing this a little bit higher. I'm not doing it in the center, as you can see. And the reason for that is because of just the placement of my stove, and this is going to drop down behind it a little bit. And I'm just using a ruler just to make sure that I have everything even before I start stenciling. So here what I'm doing is I am tracing with a pencil the outline of each one of these stencils. And you can actually use all of the multi-stencils if you want. I'm actually going to go back in with just 1 stencil so I have a uniform pattern. But once I have all of my squares traced, then I am going in with some white craft paint, and I'm actually going to hand paint this. I'm not going to tape anything off, and the reason for this is because I want the edges to be a little bit I guess not straight. I don't want them perfectly straight. I want them to have a little bit of character. I want them to have somewhat of a natural ceramic tile feel, even though it is paint. And also what I'm allowing is whenever I go around the edge, that paint is kind of thickening up just around the very edge of it, and I am leaving it that way and not brushing it out so it has a little bit of a texture around the edge. Now here it is where I have all of my squares painted white, and I did go back and do 3 coats because I am painting on black. And this is the stencil that I chose to use. And what I'm doing is I'm just laying this down on each one of my squares, and I'm using a stipple brush, and I'm just going to be stippling some black craft paint onto this. Now one thing you will see in a moment is that I pulled the first 2 off while it was wet, and it did smear a little bit of the paint. So I did go back in just a little bit later with some white paint, and I did some touch up on all my tiles. So I would suggest just letting your paint dry before you pull your stencil up. Also, if you have not subscribed to my channel, it would really help me out, and I would greatly appreciate it if you would hit the subscribe button and then hit that bell and hit all so you receive notifications every time I upload a video. Thank y'all so much. And as you can see here, I am just holding this down with my fingers, and I'm not really worried about it having a little bit of paint bleed underneath the edges. I didn't use a stencil glue or anything like that for this, just because I want it to have an organic look. And honestly, if you stick around till the end, this turned out beautiful. So this is after I did all of the stenciling, and now I'm just going in with that white paint and doing the touch-up like I mentioned before. Oh, and also, to do the touch-up, I'm using a very tiny brush. That way I can touch up easily without over bleeding my paint into my black. Once I have that done, I flip it over, and I'm putting a piece of painter's tape across the top of it where the hardware is, and that is so I can actually mark on the tape where I need to make my holes to put my screws in the wall. So once I have my tape on, then I'm going to take a black Sharpie and mark exactly where that screw is going to go. And this is what it looks like before. This is just a stick-on backsplash that I put up, I think about 7 years ago. And it's just feeling a little outdated, and I thought I wanted to do something that I could just hang up there, and if I ever wanted to change it, then I could just repaint it. So here I put my tape up there, I drilled holes, put my screws in, and now I am hanging the backsplash. This just turned out so beautiful. I've gotten so many compliments on it when people come over and walk into my kitchen. And now I'm just getting everything put back in place. So this is the before, and this is the after. Thank you so much for watching, and have a blessed day.